I want to talk about something that we can use if we're dealing with fractions. And we might get something like this. Say we have something like this. Now, in this case, there's a couple ways you can go about this. Now, again, we want to cancel addition, subtraction, then cancel the multiplication. So we'll take 4/3 x. The opposite of adding 1 is subtracting 1. These will cancel. 2 minus 1 is just 1. Now, there's a couple things we can do here. One is this is 4/3 times x. So the opposite of multiplying by 4/3 is dividing by 4/3. So that'll cancel. And then what we did to one side, we have to do to the other. So what we get is x equals 1 divided by 4/3. So at this point, we need to do a fraction division. So we turn 1 into a fraction. So we give it a denominator of 1. 1 divided by 1 is still 1. Just like if you had 3 and you wanted to turn it to a fraction, you turn 3 into 3 divided by 1, because 3 divided by 1 is still 3. Now we do our KFC. Keep the first fraction, 1/1. Flip the second fraction, 3/4. Change this to multiplication. And then we multiply across. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. And that's it. Now, there's another way you can go about this. Let's take a step back to 4/3 x equals 1. Right before we divided both sides by 4/3. There's another idea we could use called reciprocals. And the idea of reciprocals is this. If you take a fraction and multiply by its flip, the answer is 1. So we have 3/5 times 5/3. This turns out to be 1, because if you multiply across, that's what you do when you multiply fractions. Top multiplies the top, that gives you 15. Bottom multiplies the bottom, it's also 15, and 15 divided by 15 is 1. And so what we typically do is we usually skip the middle step and just go to there. The same thing if you have 3. The reciprocal of 3, or we can write 3 as 3/1. So that means if we take 3/1 times its reciprocal, which is the flip, 1/3, same thing. 3 times 1 is 3, 1 times 3 is 3, and we get 1. Now, what we typically do is we kind of skip, and we'll do the following. We'll just say 3 times 1/3. We'll skip this part here where we actually write the 3/1. We'll just call that 1. Or likewise, you could do this. 1/3 times its flip, because you just flip 1/3, which is the same as 1/3 times 3, but you still get 1. So we typically use this relationship also. Negative numbers, same thing. -2/3 remultiplied by its flip. Now the flip is still negative. So you get negative times negative. This will come out to be a +1. And so we'll get, again, negative negative is positive, so we don't write a negative sign. 2 times 3 is 6. Excuse me, 3 times 2 is 6. And we get 1. So a common thing you'll see people do with fractions is use these reciprocals. So what we'll do is we'll multiply by the flip or the reciprocal. And so this becomes 1. And 3/4 times 1 is 3/4. And then 1 times x is just x. Like 1 times 3 is just 3. And we get x is 3/4. So that's something you'll see also too. But the other way of doing things, dividing both sides by 4/3, that works just as well. So that's it. Any questions? Let me know.